Love is in the air as round 17 of the Isuzu UTE A-League men's competition continues this Valentine's Day here on the land of the Gadigal people at Allianz Stadium in Sydney. There's been not too much love for Sydney FC when it comes to competition points over the last few weeks. Just one win in their last four. To be fair, it was a 4-1 demolition of crosstown rivals, the Western Sydney Wanderers. Adelaide United, meanwhile, is without a win in two. Only one loss in their last five, though. That defeat at the hands of the high-flying Jets last week. And as you can see, Redwig Steve is in the house as always. And here on the Isuzu UTE tunnel cam, you can see a new captain for Adelaide United as well, with that loss against Newcastle coming at a cost due to that groin injury to Craig Goodwin. It means Bart Vriens wears the armband this afternoon. And, of course, Craig Goodwin sweating to be fit in time for the World Cup. Speaking of the World Cup, Sydney FC has been active this window, bringing Apostolos Stamatolopoulos on loan from Motherwell as he looks for game time to impress Tony Popovic with around about 16 weeks to go. You can see in that wider shot there the kids on either side of Sydney FC and Adelaide United from the Wagga City Wanderers, and a wonderful moment for the kids from the bush, and great to see Sydney FC forging ties with their regional clubs as well. A day that these kids from Wagga Wagga won't forget in a hurry. So Sydney FC, the Cove, will be behind them this evening as they look to return to form. They've got pretty good home form as well. As we have a look at the lineups, Ufuk Talay makes just the one change after that loss in Auckland. Joe Lolly is fit enough to start again with Akol Akon back to the bench. He joins Stamatolopoulos and fellow new arrival Ahmet Arslan. Jordan Courtney Perkins is also added. Alexander Popovic, Joel King and Pat Wood will drop out for Sydney FC. As we have a look at Ayrton Andrioli's side, he's forced into a change as well. We've mentioned Craig Goodwin's long-term injury. It's a pretty handy replacement though. Ethan Alagic back in, having returned from the Under-23s Asian Cup off the bench last week. He had started every game prior to heading off to captain the Ollie Roos. Joey Garuccio and Amlani Tatsu are on the bench, along with potential debutant Bailey O'Neill. So Ufuk Talay may have one eye on a rematch with Auckland on Tuesday. Insist today is the main focus though. He has his best win percentage against Adelaide than any other opponent. Meanwhile, Ayrton Andrioli, the Adelaide United coach, looking relaxed. He was about to sign a petition last week to get rid of VAR after that disallowed goal against Newcastle. He did concede that his side were their own worst enemies at times. I'm sure Ben Abraham, Enna Kobek and Alessandro Liana listened to those comments. And in the VAR booth this evening, Carney Robinson and Brad Wright will certainly be hoping for an uncontroversial 90 minutes after those comments from Ayrton Andrioli last week. Ben Abraham is all smiles at least. And there are the two new recruits for Sydney FC biding their time on the bench. Apostolos Stamatolopoulos on the left and the German-Turkish number 10 looking to make his mark in the A-League, Ahmet Arslan. So what can Sydney FC come up with against Adelaide United tonight? Joe Lolly is a big inclusion for this side. We know what he can do for Sydney FC. He is an excitement machine, and Corey Holman working hard in the midfield as well. Ryan Grant, the captain, laying down the law for Sydney FC as they look to return to the winner's circle after that 1-0 loss last week at the hands of Auckland. Yeah, Joe Lolly back into the starting side after returning from that hamstring injury. Has 7 in 9 against Adelaide United, including back in round 1. Can you believe it's not his best return though? He's got 9 in 7 against Perth Glory. He does know how to find the back of the net. Ethan Alagic draws parallels to Lolly. He injured his hamstring as Australia ended in the quarterfinals of the Asian Cup. And he also scored in that opening round clash. That was 2-1 by Adelaide United. So revenge may be on the cards for Harrison Devonish-Mears in goal for Sydney FC. He's had a great season for this side and he leads the A-League when it comes to save percentages at 80%. We'll hope for a quiet evening this evening as Adelaide United will get us underway at Allianz Stadium on Valentine's Day. There'll be no love lost over the next 90 minutes. And watching alongside me is Andy Harper. It's strange form for these two sides, Harp. So the great thing is in the A-League, you never know what you're going to get. We'll watch Sydney FC make an early break. Campodano tries to get out there, but Smits has been very good for Adelaide United this season, and he's able to scramble it clear.
Yeah, good evening, Glenn. Who's not going to jump in unless we had a Ryan Fraser repeat from Western Sydney Wanderers Sydney Derby here a couple of weeks ago. I just think these two teams match up really nicely for a great Saturday night's entertainment. And they're like every other team in the competition apart from Newcastle at the moment, and that's trying to find some consistency. Their best has been very good. Backing up their best repeatedly has been a challenge for both. So much, as far as the ladder is concerned, is at stake here tonight. If Adelaide can win, pick up the 3 points, they go to third place on 26 in front of Sydney. They'll leapfrog them. And if Sydney win tonight, they'll go second on goal difference from Auckland, whom they play middle of next week in the catch-up game. Meanwhile, whatever happens tonight, Newcastle will sit still 5 points clear at the top.
It is quite remarkable, isn't it? And the youngsters getting it done for Newcastle, 7 on the trot. And we heard Alex Wilkinson in pre-game allude to the fact as well that other than Newcastle, everyone is pretty even as Sydney FC look to go forward through Kisbay. Has the ball taken off him beautifully in midfield. The returning Alleghetti tries to send White through, and White's on the edge of the area looking to cut away from Alex Grant, who gets his foot in the way, but Adelaide United win their first corner.
And the first example of the transition of Adelaide. They're very sharp in transition. The A-League often turns into a battle of transition.
And it's a quick ball in as well. And at the back post, Phyllis couldn't quite get his head on it. And finally, Sydney FC will get a goal kick.
Finally, geez, that's a bit of an escape early. When he's set perfectly, Jovanovic. Apart from the occasion and the thought of scoring, there's no pressure on him. There's no defenders around him. It dropped very kindly. He'll be very disappointed he didn't at least steer that goalwards.
And Alex Grant would be relieved that he didn't get a touch that may have sent it past Harrison Devonish-Mears for an early own goal. Holman tries to bring it down in midfield. He's got plenty of white shirts around him, but he does really well to get Quintal, who wins the ball back as well for Sydney FC. Tries to find a way into the 18-yard box. Adelaide United are unable to scramble that over the touchline, and this will be an early corner for Sydney FC.
Phillips with the turnover slipped as he was about to pass by the looks of things, and Ryan Kiddo still talking with the ref, thinking he saved that situation. Kochbeck on the near touchline said no, there was a corner. Mitch Garuccio, former Adelaide player, shapes to take.
His cousin Joey on the bench for the Reds this evening. Ben Garuccio, 1 goal in 50 games for the Reds. He's got one hand up for the in-swinging corner. Plenty of sky blue shirts around the penalty spot, but it goes straight to Bart Vriens, who heads it clear. Only as far as Ocon. Ivanovic does well to get his body in the way. Johnny Yull, now Muniz, as well in tight spaces. Johnny Yull just has to pull it up short of the touchline. And Muniz can slow things down and look for options. Looks to switch it for DeCooley. Brings it down. He's Ryan Grant in front of him. Cuts onto the left foot. Yaya DeCooley goes without it. And it's a good interception by Kisbay. Good battle over there, but DeCooley gives away the free kick.
It was a needless giveaway too. Kisbay's under real pressure if Yaya can just hold his nerve, and he does, and it's so cheap. So cheap. Sydney out of trouble. The break was good. The raking crossfield pass from Juan Muniz. That left foot is in the pantheon. Sydney fans here were treated to many years of David Carney's left foot. I mean, it is a work of art, that left foot of Juan Muniz.
He'll be able to place at Hogwarts. The wizard, the wand of a left foot. As Jovanovic has Alex Grant in front of him. Loses out. Grant can't find a sky blue shirt. And Phyllis goes all the way back to Smits, who's barking instructions. Wants his Adelaide United teammates to get wide up. Now they do go up that right channel, but it's sprayed over the touchline. Adelaide United getting the money in the opening round as their first win in 5 against Sydney FC, dating back to 2024. Sydney FC with a pretty good home record this campaign as well. As they go long, Campithano looks to bring it down. He's got 2 Adelaide players around him. Holds it up, looks for support. Back towards goal. He can only find DeCooley, who'll win it back for Adelaide, and Smits will rake it clear. Munif. White looking for DeCooley. Lays it off for the birthday boy, Jay Barnett. Happy birthday, 25 today. Wonder how his partner feels about him taking the gloss off Valentine's Day. Smits taking his time. Oh, it's well weighted because Devonish Mears couldn't wait for it to roll back into the 18-yard box. Had to make a play with DeCooley bearing down on him. Tisserand with some space now. Still going, Marcel Tisserand. He's inviting them in. Adelaide United let him go until he loses out to White. Alex Grant's been busy. Deflected off Jovanovic. As far as Ocon sitting deep. Now Ryan Grant scrambles it out for a throw. Adelaide looking lively. The better of the play through the opening exchanges. Phyllis continuing at centre back with Kikiana still ill. We wish him all the best as he recovers. Phyllis doing well. Back with the experience of Reens alongside him. Munif with the ball over the top. Searching for Johnny Yale, but Grant, the experience gets there first. White tries to hold it up. Here's Yale. Kitto may think about shooting. He does. Devonish Mears has to reach and tap that one over the bar. It's a really good save from a Devonish Mears who was on his heels. They go short. Munif linking up with Yao. Adelaide maybe offside according to Sydney FC, and now the flag does go up. Yule just couldn't get back from taking that quick corner.
Some good passages of play from Adelaide, and Ryan Kitto with his right foot, the deflection nearly sinking Sydney, certainly causing a couple of heart flutters.
Good little run in behind there. Quintal. Adelaide United had to be quick. Give away the corner. One end to the other. Molly was thinking about it. He is happy to give up the corner-taking responsibilities to Ben Garuccio. And waste Joe Lolly. Situation. Goes towards the back post. Reens is there again to head clear. Coningsla heads it down. Picked up again by Munif. Does really well in a tight space. White all the way back to Smits. Phyllis and Kitto. Oh, Kitto with a nutmeg there. Gets past Quintal. Give it straight back to Kispe. Lolly smart. Leaves it for Quintal. Goes towards the byline. Ryan Kitto in front of him. He's got a few options here. Lays it off for Lolly. We know what he can do with that left boot. Dinks one over the top this time. Sydney FC may appeal for a penalty over on the far side. You can see Garuccio is remonstrating with the referee that he had his shirt grabbed. Nothing doing.
Plenty doing there for Ryan Kitto, doing to Tiago Quintal what he does to so many people. That's the nutmeg. On this occasion, little Sydney flyer jinking inside and feeding the ball to Joe Lolly, whose ball across the goal was aimed at and for Garuccio.
Ryan, strong header. Goes out for an attacking throw for Sydney FC. Lolly to take this one quickly. Holman has a hand in his back possibly. Yes, he does, according to Ben Abraham. And while Sydney FC prepare to take this free kick, it happened right in front of Daniel Garb. Good evening, Garby.
Good evening. It's the most perfect night for football down here. Not a breath of wind, not too hot, so hopefully the game follows suit. Wonderful conditions. And we love it when new signings from abroad bring new fans through the gates, and that's happened here at Allianz Stadium for Sydney FC this evening. Ahmet Arslan, the German signing, has brought these gentlemen through. They are hardcore German football fans. They've got German football shirts on from a range of different clubs that Arslan has represented, and they've picked up some Sydney FC Ahmet Arslan merchandise as well. So they're enjoying themselves. Great to see them attending an A-League game as a result.
Yeah, absolutely. The red and white of SN, where Arslan was last at. 4 goals in 19 games in the Liga 3 season in Germany before heading to Sydney FC. Here's Lolly. We'll get back to him a little bit later on as Lolly just overcooks that one.
Yeah, just missed with his first 2 efforts, Joe Lolly. Looseness, shall we call them. Just coming back from injury. A couple of telling cameos off the bench. His first start for a while. So important to Sydney is Joe Lolly. But he'll need to get back to better and more familiar ways than his first 2 efforts.
He looked bright in that second half against Auckland. And when you have hamstring injuries and 33 years of age, slowly the way forward. Munif has good vision to pick out Ryan Kitto. Back to Munif in the middle of the park. Johnny Yal has Alagic. Does well to split the Sydney FC defenders and open it up for Barnett. DeCooley. Good movement from Adelaide United. Munif will look to switch the play again. Through the middle of the park. Yal tries to head it down. Jovanovic chases, but Devonish Mears is there to clean it up. And now just getting a bit of afters there from Jovanovic as well. As Devonish Mears will look to slow things down a little, and Abraham gives him the countdown. Six clean sheets this season for Harrison Devonish Mears, and you look at Sydney FC going down that right channel through this man, Ryan Grant, and Joe Lolly, of course, back from injury. Quintal has been involved as well down this right side. Adelaide United, the ball back with that throw. A high press from Campuzano has Smits just fluffing his lines. Sydney FC a chance to press here. Ocon, good touch. Can he get a shot away? It's a good intervention, but only as far over on the left-hand side of Quintal. And Thiago Quintal puts Sydney FC ahead. His 3rd for the season, and it was the sloppy release from Smits that allowed Sydney FC in. Thiago Quintal, after Ocon thought about shooting, he finishes, and it is Sydney FC leading 1-0.
Well, Bart Brains, on the Harvey Norman replay, the captain, puts his teammate and countryman, as it turns out, Smits, into all sorts of trouble with that bouncy back pass. The drive from Ocon, and the ball in a deflected sense deviates to Thiago Quintal, who touches surely, and it's a lashing finish through Smits and into the Adelaide goal, right through the legs.
You have to feel for Smits, don't you? After slicing the clearance and then seeing that one go through the legs. But take nothing away from Thiago Quintal. He scored that double in the Sydney derby. He's got another one tonight. And Sydney FC take the lead. And they are 5 from 5 when scoring first this campaign.
Well, it's not been a great couple of weeks for Bart Dreens. He gave the ball away on halfway last week against the Jets. Clayton Taylor helped himself to his third to complete the hat-trick, and it's a really poor back pass from the skipper. It put the keeper, Smits, under all sorts of pressure. He couldn't deal with it adequately.
What can Sydney FC do now? They just need to keep control, maintain the tempo. Adelaide United had a bright start. They have to play from behind. Campuzano looks for the goal scorer. Quintal can't get there on that occasion. And White, who you have to feel sorry for, sliding in to prevent Ocon from taking the shot. And ended up in the path of Quintal. Now Adelaide United do win a free kick. I'll be looking for a very quick reply here. Strong from Alagic. Rides another one. Lays it off for Yell. He has a bit of space here. Johnny Yell looks to cut back in on the right. Can't get any venom in that shot. Munif. Cooley and Barnett. Good little ball in from Barnett, and they do get the immediate reply through Ryan Kitto. Well, it's only taken a matter of minutes for Adelaide United to find parity, and it was a beautiful ball across the face of goal, and Ryan Kitto from the penalty spot does the rest. 1-1.
Well, Harvey Norman replay is going to show a great bit of work from the birthday boy, Jay Barnett, and an instinctive finish from Ryan Kitto, who doesn't mind playing at this stadium. He's got a goal to celebrate here and equalise for Adelaide. Rather static defending from Sydney. They'll be disappointed with that effort, but excellent from Adelaide. Put on their heels just moments ago with the Thiago Quintal goal, and they've bounced straight back up off the canvas, the Reds.
He's second in as many matches against Sydney FC. Ryan Kitto scored in the opening round. He has another one here again. Redwick Steve loves it. The Adelaide United fans love it. 3 minutes. Sydney FC had the lead. And we are back all square at 1-1. Barnett with the assist. What can he come up with here? They play it through for Jovanovic. And the offside flag goes up after a lovely ball through. To say Alessandro Liana got that right on the far side. Jovanovic just missed timing his run.
Great expertise. I mean, the centre refs have a big job, but such expertise, and the assistant refs running the sideline more often than not, getting those hairline calls. It's a job for someone with 3 eyes, actually. They're defying nature, that's what I'm saying.
I was wondering whether you were suggesting they were extraterrestrial beings or something like that.
Well, they've worked on their craft. They could well be.
Here's Joe Lolly. They are such fine margins, aren't they? Lolly wins the corner for his side. It's the goal scorer Kitto who puts it out for a corner. Lolly does take it quickly for Garuccio. Now looks to whip it in on the left foot. Campuzano is at the back. Tisserand gets his head on it, and it goes out for a goal kick.
Again, it was more hope than intent from Joe Lolly with that delivery. And he has set such high standards. But Tisserand tealing away from the goal, trying to get some sort of meaningful contact. It was all advantage to the Adelaide defenders pretty much from the moment it left Joe's boot.
Oh, Giveaway almost allows Corey Holman in, but not sure Holman was quite expecting it, and Phyllis gets away with that one. Have a rush of blood to the head of Holman. This one goes all the way back to Devonish Mears. Allianz Stadium has been out of action for several months, as relayed, and the Union last night as well. There's been plenty of rain around in Sydney over the last few weeks, so ground staff have had to work overtime. You can see that strip through the middle, continuing to maintain it. Smits. All over the top from Phyllis to Kidto, and that's a lovely turn from Yull, but he can't control it at the second attempt, and Corey Holman was behind him ready for it. Here's Ocon. Almost halfway through this opening 45 at Allianz Stadium. Sydney FC with the early goal. Tiago Quintal, but just 3 minutes later, Ryan Kitto with his third of the season. Adelaide United back all square. 3 points huge for both of these sides. Adelaide United go all the way up to third. Sydney FC could draw level just behind Auckland, but with a superior goal difference. Third place. Ocon tries to snap at that one. Tin ball here on the edge of the 18. Quintal goes to ground. Munith gives away the free kick, and this will be in a dangerous area for Sydney FC as Munith goes to check on him. They'll remonstrate, but this is a big opportunity for the home side.
Well, they're calling for a foul by Ocon Engsler in the heading challenge before that, actually. I don't think there's any complaints for the foul ultimately on Quintal, who was just too sharp. And it's in a really decent position for Sydney. Garuccio, beautiful left foot he's got. Quintal as well. Kispe is hovering over the ball as well. This is what they think is the foul. Ocon Engsler climbing all over the top of Ethan Allegich. That's clearly a foul. That was paid. The first one not. The Adelaide players blew up.
And you can hear the Adelaide players going back over to the referee and saying, did you see that? As it popped up on the big screen. Garuccio's there. Quintal's there. It is going to be Garuccio, and it's straight at Smits. Comfortable for the veteran gloveman. Sydney FC would be disappointed with that outcome. United now with the opportunity to break through Munith. Yull over the top. Takuli's coming forward. Devonish Mears comes out smartly and gets there first.
Yeah, 24 minutes in, Johnny Yull, super young player. He has not hit his straps tonight at all. That was a really lazy first-time ball. He was found beautifully by Munith, who started the game for Adelaide very impressively. Johnny Yull has won many admirers.
Now Smits has to come out well, and he does so.
But his opening form in this match hasn't been to his usual standard.
He's been scrappy at times. Opening 25 minutes of this one. Teams in the arm wrestle. Space for Allegich. Kitto, the goal scorer. Here is Johnny Yull, and once again, it's a touch that he'd be disappointed with.
It's most unlike Johnny, most unlike him. He's trailing most of the rest of his team at the moment with touches on the ball so far.
Looking to pick Ryan Grant's pocket, he does so. Johnny Yull tries to lay it off for Jovanovic, but Tisserand did really well. Ocon Engsler and then Holman. Looks to break quickly, but then lays off for Lolly, who is forced to go backwards.
That's a big escape for Sydney. And Ryan Grant, he doesn't make errors like that. He's been going for how many games now? 600?
Not quite.
I haven't seen
332nd game.
Same diff. Yeah. I haven't seen him make an error like that. Not that he's perfect, but he does rarely get caught in those sort of moments. Jovanovic might have done better for Adelaide as the ball found its way to him on the edge of the Sydney box, actually. Ocon Engsler diffusing the trouble that was brewing for Sydney.
All days away from his 35th birthday is Ryan Grant. Going all the way back in 2008. Had a bit more hair then. Kid from Canowindra.
All started with the Canowindra Phoenix, which in country terms probably plays the Wagga City Wanderers, a local derby, only 240 kilometres separating them.
Corey Holman. Lolly. 1-2 with Holman. Good pressure from White. Joined in by Kitto. And Ryan Kitto can release. Gets around Ryan Grant again. Grant left wanting. Still going Ryan Kitto. Jovanovic is in the middle. He chooses to go himself. It cannons into Tisserand for an Adelaide corner.
Well, it's just brilliant from Kitto. Johnny Yull. Jovanovic actually reacted a little slowly then, once the break had been made. So the double team on Holman, Ryan White being the doorman, and then the courier takes the package away. And he's looking up for some help. In the end, he thinks, I may as well shoot. There's nothing from here because there's no one in support. And that was in part because Jovanovic's reaction to the breakaway took too long to kick in.
The next best result is a corner. Taken low by Muniz. Cleared, but only as far as Alagic. Campuzano defending from the front. As White in front of him, gets around him. Alagic looks to recover. He might have to give away one here, and he does. He goes into Ben Abraham's book. He thought about his options, and he took one.
Well, you know, that's more Campuzano than Alagic. That was superb from the Spaniard. Sydney play quickly.
Lolly. Oh, he doesn't cut onto the left on that occasion. He goes to the byline. Dinks one over the top. Cooley's forced to put it out for a corner. In fact, the last touch is off Ben Garuccio, and it'll be an Adelaide goal kick. Joe Lolly can't believe it.
No, Nork and Garuccio. Nork and Campuzano.
Nor could I on first call.
Well, Lolly dragging the ball to his right. This is his most meaningful contribution so far. Hard to tell from that angle.
Still looked like the head of Yaya to Cooley to me. Ben Abraham and Kochbeck are closer.
Let's go forward, forward.
FC really looking for a way through here. Getting Andrioli barking instructions at his defensive unit. Holding solidly here. Ocon is unable to puncture it. Go all the way back. Evan Ishmears will start again. It's a great bring down from Lolly. Bounces off Kitto. Maintained by the ex-Nottingham Forest man. Well won back by Muniz. And now Adelaide can break Barnett. They got enough numbers forward. Ivanovic a little isolated over on that sideline, but he does well. Barnett, nice little cutback, lays it off for White. They'll win a corner here again. Cannons into Tisserand, and that was good movement from Adelaide.
And it's an escape from Sydney again. Maybe Ocon-Exler a little gassed after some big runs, but he takes a while to get going. Look at, there he is, the 24 for Sydney in the replay. And before he knows it, Barnett's 3 metres away from him. And it's a lucky escape in the end for Sydney. Ryan White shooting on target, forcing the corner. End-to-end here at Allianz. It promised to be a good one, and it started really well here.
And Abraham is just indicating that the ball needs to be on the D, and he's calling Kispe back within that 10 yards. And he'll go deep towards the front post. Ben Garuccio with his head on it. Alagic for White, who won that corner for Adelaide. And he wins out over Corey Holman again. That is really, really strong work from White, never giving up. Kito, too close to Devonish Mears. Quick release, Quintal. Again, the press of Adelaide frustrating Sydney FC somewhat here. Campuzano and Kito locked together. Oh, Holman was looking to thread the needle for Quintal. There were enough Adelaide bodies in the way. Wayward from De Cooley. Oh, nice little back heel from Quintal for Garuccio. And now close to the line and into the side netting from Kispe. Well, that was almost a carbon copy of the first goal. They do win a corner.
Might have been so much more. Thiago Quintal still can't believe it. He collapsed as though he was on a prayer mat. Kispe didn't angle the ball back. He was completely alone on the 6-yard, on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Kispe will take the corner towards the 6-yard box. Ryan Grant doesn't know where it's gone. Barnett gets his head on it. Alex Grant with the second ball in. Headed away from White, who's had a really good start to this game for his side. And now Johnny Yull can break. Ocon-Exler has to get back. He does well to get in front of Yull and turn and go. Ryan Grant wants the switch of play. He gets it. Kispe's on his way now. Garuccio overlapping. This is real end-to-end stuff. Here's Garuccio. Barnett will have to get across. Kispe has Alagic in front of him. Lays it off for Holman. Corey Holman with a touch. Lolly in the left foot. Dangerous bounce off the turf in front of Smits, and he recovers well.
Pretty relieved goalkeeper, wasn't he, Glenn? It did take that bounce. And here's the Kispe chance, as it turned out. Barbreen's not able to clear the ball. Garuccio feeding the Peruvian. Really tight angle to goal. And then the next chance was this little bobble. Wow. Got him on the chin as well. And Smith's very relieved that didn't bounce out.
Both sides living dangerously with just over 10 plus stoppages in the opening half. Goals 3 minutes apart in the 15th and 18th minutes. Adelaide United would be disappointed with the end to that attacking raid. Strong pass back to Devonish Mears. His touch had to be good. Here's Kispe. Lolly sends Thiago Quintal through. Good defending by Phyllis. Only as far as Ryan Grant, though.
There is literally no rest in this game. As soon as a team gets it, they're looking to go forward and attack. And bravo, I say. Well done to both coaches and both sets of players willing and up for it.
It's frenetic. Does mean there's been plenty of turnovers, but it means it's been fast at both ends as well. And the transition speed has been incredible. Will something break? Muniz slowing things down to a standstill after all of that. Barnett was looking for options there. He had none, so he has to go back to Vrins. You can hear Andrioli screaming at Johnny Yule to go forward there. So he took the touch and then headed back towards his own goal, slow to play up, and now Sydney FC win the ball back through Quintal. Here's Kispay. Quintal again looking for a double. The back heel doesn't find Kispay. Muniz was pushed off the ball, but he managed to get it away to Johnny Yule. This time he does go forward to White. Still going Ryan White. No one going with him. Adelaide United walking in transition here. Now Johnny Yule lays it through for Jovanovic. And Garuccio turned and went with him, and they just clattered into each other.
But in the end, it looked a little tired, didn't it? The players, well, thankfully, probably because it hasn't been as hot and humid like today as it's been over the recent days in Sydney, because the players are redlining. They must be.
Here's Holman. Holman has a shot from long range, and it's to the left of Smith's goals.
It's just up and back, and in the end, two incidental comings together. And then Corey Holman shooting this time. Might have shot a bit earlier on the last attack for Sydney when he found the ball inside the Adelaide penalty area. And Abraham being the equipment manager part-time for Adelaide.
He's done well finding that shin pad, because they're not getting any bigger, are they, shin pads? Almost literally a needle in a haystack, the size of them these days.
Well, that's where the players breaking down, because players have been so stretched. And Muniz, whose passing exhibition in this first half has been as good as we've seen, just came unstuck on that last one. It was a lazy, if I could say that, probably better to say tired effort.
Well, you touched on it. There's just been no respite, and it is starting to show as we head towards half-time. Still a little over 5+ stoppages, but the relentlessness of this one is having an effect, and well, that's probably got to be a yellow card to Ben Garuccio. He got a fair bit of Yaya Dakuli there, dragged him down. It looks like Ben Abraham's going to keep his hand out of his pocket.
That's fair enough. It's really well done by Yaya Dakuli. Took Ben out of the game, and that's a contact that wouldn't have been out of place here last night in the Super Rugby.
Yeah, I thought it might have been a yellow.
Yeah, I think it was not completely intentional from Garuccio in the free kick, as is, was fair enough.
Johnny Yule is having all sorts of issues with equipment. First the shin pad and quick boot change as well. Maybe going to the longer studs, given the conditions and that aforementioned Super Rugby game last night. Muniz standing over the free kick. Drives it too deep. Devonish Mears can watch that one bounce over the byline.
Amazing, Glenn, isn't it? Because we've watched Muniz all season, but particularly tonight, and particularly the start of the night. He'll be surrounded, he'll receive the ball, and within a millisecond he's surrounded by 3 opponents trying to kick his legs off. And somehow he finds a way out and hits a millimetre perfect pass to someone 50 metres away. On a dead ball, no end product. Incredible.
That was remarkable, wasn't it? I think we spoke before the game, we just don't know what we're going to get, and yeah, it's hard to describe sometimes when players of that calibre come up with an end product like that. Here's Quintal. Joe Lolly steps onto the left, and this one does trouble Smits, but not too much. Smits can bounce it to his feet and regather. On target from Lolly. Now Munith plays the ball out in front of Johnny Yull. This one might skip away as well. Was weighted a little better, but still out of reach of the Adelaide left midfielder.
Well, I think the message to both as we approach half-time is intensity, attitude is excellent. Let's just take a blood pressure tablet at the last moment of every attack. Just settle down, find that little bit of quality.
Corey Holman. Haligic gets in the way while Smits has this at his feet. Let's get back down to Daniel Garb.
Well, it's been interesting watching Tiago Quintal in this first half. It's clear that he's playing in a far more advanced role and far more centrally than perhaps we've seen him operate before. Certainly a lot more advanced. As a second striker next to Campuzano, he's been lively, to say the least. And for a young player that there is so much interest in Australian football, it's an interesting move.
Just have to watch this one as Holman. It is Quintal. Still with Corey Holman. Joe Lolly has Ryan Kiddo in front of him towards the byline. It'll be a corner, Garby.
Keen to get Harp's thoughts on the way in which Quintal is operating in this advanced role, because he is someone that we have such high hopes for, and it's definitely a positional alteration for him, and he seems to be very comfortable there, Harps.
It's a great pick-up, Garby. I mean, he's in great form, great confidence, so that helps, but maybe this is a bit of a restructure for the introduction of Arslan.
Here is Garuccio. The corner towards the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper thought about coming. Tisserand heads it into the crossbar. It cannons off the woodwork. The goalkeeper was nowhere. There was half an appeal for a handball. Johnny Yull can break for Adelaide at the other end now. He has players bombing forward, including White. Was he onside? They'll let it keep going here. White, really good intervention from Ocon Engsler, and now the official's flag goes up. White had just strayed into an offside position. Wow, it could have been a goal at either end.
Amazing header from Tisserand. Brilliant, attacks the ball, thumps it goalward, and it just hits the crossbar. Adelaide still had a little bit of scrambling to do, and then they were away. I actually think it was the wrong selection from Ivanovic. Or was it Yull?
Johnny Yull, yeah.
I think it was the wrong selection to try and hit Ryan White. I reckon leave that run and feed it out to DeCooley. Once the play had broken down, the two of them were in pretty graphic exchange verbally with each other.
Plenty of excitement to round out this opening half. Marcel Tisserand, 2 this season. Could have and almost should have had a third for the campaign. Josh Smits came out, decided that he wasn't going to get there, and found himself in no man's land. Now Tisserand has to play it down the channel for Holman. Do beautifully to keep that in. Perfectly weighted ball over the top from the central defender. Lolly once again can't find a target as Yull maintains possession for his side. Phyllis scrambles it away. Alex Grant's touch isn't a great one. Gives it away with the second. Here is that option of Johnny Yull. I'll tell you what, I think it was onside.
Yeah, clearly. By the looks of that, if it goes in, I reckon it stands. And so then I have to take my criticism of Yull back. Well, clearly he wanted something different out of DeCooley.
Here is Ivanovic. A little isolated this evening. Again, giving it away. Well, the good news, Harps, is it didn't, so you didn't have to. 2 minutes of added time in this opening half. DeCooley gets in the way of that one.
Again, that was a poor decision from Holman, who's been great tonight, but the easier pass was just roll it to Kisper. Kispe can feed Garuccio if and as when that space becomes the preferred option.
Happy to see out this final minute or so. Well, they push again. Here they come. Maruccio. Right, just starting to hang off slightly. Smits will come out. Once again, it's a poor clearance. Ocon Exler playing with Ivanovic at the moment. Marcel Tisserand, could this be the last play of the opening half? He kicks the turf in anger at himself, but also he kicked some sand as he tried to play that ball through. Here the Adelaide United fans willing their side on towards half-time. Kito gives away the throw. Ben Abrahams has seen enough. 2 goals in 3 minutes. The first to Tiago Quintal to give Sydney FC the lead. And then Ryan Kito, just 3 minutes later, seeing Adelaide United restore parity at half-time at Allianz Stadium. It is the home side, Sydney FC 1, Adelaide United 1. Well, don't go anywhere because there is plenty to unpack. The halftime show is on the other side of this break.
Love how you live in the 7-seat Isuzu MUX SUV. Go your own way. Say hello to the Ninja Slushy, easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. No ice means no watered-down drinks. The blending means smooth, perfect texture every time. Just pour a slush and enjoy. Transform almost anything with the Ninja Slushy. And get ready to cheer.
substitutions. Your dreams and ideas, your potential. And when that potential is multiplied by our collective,
And today we're going to learn about atmospheric distortion.
amazing things can happen. We call it Unit to the Power of Us. Macquarie University.
When you invest with eToro, you start seeing investors everywhere. You see, eToro really is everywhere.
Liberty Highlands hit different. The thinkers, the go-getters, the creators, the future-free thinker. You'll be right at home. Liberty Highlands for free thinkers. Liberty Highlands hit different. The thinkers, the go-getters, the creators, the future-free thinker. You'll
Welcome back to Allianz Stadium, where it was Tiago Quintal's goal that gave Sydney FC a 1-0 lead over Adelaide United. That lead lasted just 3 minutes before Ryan Kitto levelled things up for Adelaide United. It means that at half-time at Allianz, it is all square between Sydney FC and Adelaide United as the Sky Blues look to move up level on points, but ahead on goal difference of Auckland FC in second place. If they can get victory tonight, Adelaide United can leapfrog Melbourne, Victory, Macarthur and Sydney FC into third if they can find a winner in the second 45. So still plenty to play for in the second half at Allianz Stadium. Sydney FC did score first, and when they have scored first on this during this season, they have won 5 from 5. We just saw there on the bench briefly Sydney FC's new arrivals, substitutes, Postulos Stamatolopoulos and the German-Turkish import Ahmet Arslan as well. They'll be getting some minutes in the second half. Ufuk Talay, of course, having plenty to talk about as he looks tactically ahead to the next 45 minutes. With a good atmosphere on Valentine's Day as round 17 of the Isuzu UTE A-League men's competition continues. We had that 1-1 draw earlier this afternoon between Melbourne Victory and Brisbane. Will it stay all square in this second 45, or will there be more goals? Andy Harper, it was a real arm wrestle, a real back and forth in the first half. Let's see how the energy levels hang out in the second.
Yeah, it was a real knock 'em down, drag 'em out affair in that first half. And so frantic at times that the players couldn't have the composure, couldn't access the required composure to make the telling pass or decision or touch in the attacking penalty area. So I would imagine that was part of at least some of the half-time chat.
Joe Lolly's done well in a tight space here, and now the shot is comfortable for Smits, and Quintal just grabbing the back of his head. He knew he could do better there. Based on this, the second half has started similarly to the first. Jay Barnett looks to break quickly, holds up play for Muniz, and then Johnny Yull. Yull turns, looks for DeCooley. Ryan Grant doesn't get that ball back to Devonish Mears. DeCooley almost snuck in.
I think the Adelaide technical area, Garby can confirm this for us. I think it was a general question to the fourth official. Does he have to actually go down and milk it to win the penalty there?
Well, it's end-to-end again. Garuccio tries to find Quintal on the right-hand side. Nice bring down from Quintal towards the edge of the area. No Sky Blue shirts there because that would have been 2-1 as Vrian scrambles it clear.
Well, very sharp again from Quintal. Beat 2 and then squared the ball. No one there for Sydney.
Well, it's all well and good to put it there, but someone's got to be there. Campazano was a little too deep. If no one's there, it's probably not the right ball to play, but Quintal did really well to bring the ball down. Let's have a look at this from Kisbay. Jay Barnett done.
Garuccio wanted the 1-2.
Strong from Ocon Engsler to pick the pocket of White. Here's Lolly. Looking for a low pass. Couldn't get past Phyllis. Corey Holman now. This is really looking similar to the opening 45 minutes so far in this second half. Johnny Yull will look to break for Adelaide. DeCooley in front of him. Nice ball through as well. And Yaya DeCooley, almost as cool as you like, sliding it past, only for the big right mid of Harrison Devonish Mears to get there.
It was great football. And they pounced on the counter. Paul Ocon-Exler with a poor delivery into the Sydney attacking penalty area. Adelaide bounced the ball out. Johnny Yull did brilliantly on that occasion. instinctive from the cooling. Great save, Devonish Mears. Good football, Adelaide.
What a way that would have been to hijack the home side. De Cooley going straight up the other end. And it was going to be the coolest finish you'd ever seen. Devonish Mears would have seen it late. Did really well. But it is an Adelaide United corner. Muniz towards the front post. Flicked on by Jovanovic, but not goal bound. Jovanovic just can't get that header on target. Facing the wrong way and looking to flick it on. Yeah, De Cooley possibly inspired by his good mate Mo Toure, who is absolutely flying in England at the moment. A hat-trick on starting debut for Norwich City. After scoring off the bench in his first game, geez, aren't the Adelaide alumni doing well? Riley McGree pushing Middlesbrough closer to the promised land of the Premiership. Of course, Stamatolopoulos coming on in the second half for Sydney FC, and Adelaide alumni as well. Now, at the other end, here are the Sky Blues. Quintal with 3 Adelaide players hanging off him. Cutting onto the left. Ryan Kitto's there. White rides the challenge and wins the free kick. I think Ben Abraham was considering playing the advantage. And then 8 Adelaide players in this starting lineup. They've had as many as 10 this season.
It's true. Thiago Quintal just stopping and propping and mesmerising defenders.
Given away by Yull. Kisbay tries to send Campazano through, but Campazano can't quite get a touch on that one to drag it into his feet. Another opportunity missed for Sydney FC. Alex Grant gets his head on it first. Garuccio has to play it off the deck. Yull wins it back for Adelaide. Muniz for Jovanovic. Here's White. Left-hand side for Kitto, looking for 2. The side foot straight into the breadbasket of Devonish Mears. Well, this is just as frenetic as it was in the first half. No rest. Johnny Yull goes again. Still going. Lays it off for White, who strikes from long range. Devonish Mears was at full stretch, but it sails over the crossbar, and Alex Grant is feeling the pain on the deck.
Well, the ball bounced off Grant, who then, shall we say, bounced off Ryan White, who hit the ball first time, and Alex Grant left the field with concussion a couple of weeks ago, you'll remember. Was declared not to be a concussive incident during that week at training, or got the clear at least, all clear from the doc. So he's just been rattled again then, but straight back to his feet otherwise, Alex Grant.
Yeah, had to come off at half-time in the Sydney derby. Sydney FC with Jordan Courtney Perkins on the bench. No Alex Popovic or Joel King tonight. Of course, with the attacking arrivals who we just saw warming up for Sydney FC. Interesting to see how many minutes Arslan and Stamatolopoulos do get. Stamatolopoulos arriving late Wednesday night, Arslan early Thursday morning. They spent the day at Sky Park on Thursday doing medicals and then trained with the side yesterday. Here's Kispe. Lolly. 1-2. the Peruvian. On he goes. Ollie again. Goes onto the right boot, and Ryan Grant doesn't score too many, but that is a gilt-edged opportunity for the veteran from point-blank range, and Grant puts it wide.
Well, it's nice play from Sydney. Players moving off the ball, including Ryan Grant, who's at the near post when the ball arrives. But he can't open that hip up enough.
Gone a season without scoring, Ryan Grant, since 2018-19. Even though he doesn't get many, he does pop up at least once a season. Ocon Engsler winning the free kick for his side there after the challenge of Munith. Well, that was the chance for Ryan Grant to break his duck this season. Both sides seeing opportunities fly past. Kisbay, wasteful. Get another opportunity here though. Again, gives it away. Ivanovic is shouldered off the ball by Alex Grant. Holman can release Lolly. Joe Lolly with Kitto in front of him onto the left foot, as he so often does. Good block. Now the Reds can release through. Alagic just holds the play up to wait for the cavalry. Still going Alagic. Kitto's run was impressive, but he won't be used. Alagic goes himself. Sydney FC only as far as Johnny Yarl. And once again, Devonish Mears is at full stretch to parry that one out for another corner.
Yeah, it's good goalkeeping. It was nice work from Johnny Yarl. Turning in onto his left foot. It was a long ranging run from Ethan Alagic. It was just to that awkward length. We've seen him bounce a little erratically from that sort of range. Given that backdrop, Devonish Mears did excellently there to his right.
Yeah, that was another awkward bounce. Smith's had to deal with one in the first half with his schnoz. Devonish Mears all glove. Munith with the outswinger. You get the feeling there's more coming here. That misses everybody. Ryan Grant and White in a foot race, but it's Kisbay who comes across. Links up with Ocon Engsler. Ryan White. Like a dog chasing a bone. But Ocon Engsler is able to skip clear. Gives the ball straight back to Adelaide, though. It's another turnover in midfield. And space for Alagic. Really strung out. Johnny Yarl goes to ground, lets the ball go past him to Munith, ends up with it now. Holman just hanging off. Ocon Engsler's there. But again, De Cooley wins it back for Adelaide. Still going to Cooley. He'll snap one with his right boot, wide of goal.
Angle wasn't kind to Yaya. Munith was well placed for him just to recycle the ball. Nice interplay. Good penetration from Johnny Yarl, forcing the error from Ocon Engsler. That's tidy. Nice little play there. It's a really low percentage effort in the end. Yaya De Cooley.
Bit of room again for Adelaide in the middle of the park. Munith and Alagic. And now Alagic, it's his turn to be wasteful. Gives the ball straight back to Sydney FC. Holman goes to ground, wins the free kick. White is arguing his case, and it looks like the reinforcements are getting ready. Apostolos Stamatolopoulos and Ahmet Arslan being given their final instructions. So we'll see the new recruits for around about half an hour. And they break this one open. Been tough to so far. There have been chances. Both sides have just been, case in point, a little wasteful at the end of their attacking raids. That one rolls out for a goal kick. And here we go. Stamatolopoulos in jumper number 80 and Arslan in number 70. It's the end of the section this evening for Victor Campuzano. Like for like, the former Newcastle Jet, who scored 17 in 25 in his final season in the A-League. He comes from Motherwell, where he scored 12 in 45 games. He's only had one start since November and only 20 minutes since the 27th of December. And then also making way in the middle of the park, Corey Holman. And speaking of light on minutes, Arslan, just 12 minutes of football since the 5th of December. 4 in 19 for Essen this season. Let's see how light on minutes they are. Ryan Kitto has gone to ground as well. Joe Lolly standing over him. Ben Abraham quick to go check. But Ryan Kitto does look like he's in a world of pain at the moment. The goal scorer in the opening half of this one. He's played every minute since round 8. And just comes together with Tisserand. The wind out of his sails. Let's get down to Daniel Garb. How's the mood with the new signings on the park now, Garby?
Well, this has all been orchestrated for Sydney FC. There's been a clear change in position for several players. Arslan's come on and Holman's gone off. Quispe's moved back into a deeper position in midfield, and Quintal went straight out to the left. So it's clear they've been told, outside of any injuries, on the half-hour mark, or the hour mark, sorry, of the game, this is what's happening. We're going to make this change. Quintal, you'll move out to the left. Arslan into the second striker, and Quispe moves into deeper in midfield. They knew what was happening, the Sydney FC players.
Well, there was Arslan on the ball. Quintal out wide. Garuccio's delivery, and almost a perfect start to life in sky blue for Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. He can't get his head over the ball, and it goes over the bar.
But he is very good in the air. Arslan digging that one out. Quintal, who's been running mazies through the centre of the park, out at left wing, and that's clipped in beautifully. Arriving on time was Stammer, and it's just over.
Seem to remember Mitchell Duke having a very similar start to life at MacArthur as well. An early sighter on goal for Stamatolopoulos against his former club. He is an Adelaide Comets junior, came through the Adelaide United system. He was pretty low-key before the game about wanting minutes for the build-up to Canada, Mexico and the United States. But no doubt, Tony Popovich will be watching closely. It could be a headache for Apostolos Stamatolopoulos if he is selected as well, because his wife is due to give birth in the middle of June, which could cause all sorts of problems in the Stammer household. Here's Arslan from long range, and it's a really good strike and an equally good save from Josh Smith, diving to his left, giving away the corner. But what an introduction the new players have made for Sydney FC. The corner's taken quickly. Here is Sydney FC. We'll have another look at that replay in just a moment, as Adelaide United win the throw. Wow. They've changed this game, Hearts.
Well, Arslan nicely onto his right foot, and it's again got that curl and at the awkward length. Smith does excellently, really, as Devon Ishmears did previously up the other end of the field for Sydney.
He doesn't look like a bloke who hasn't started since the 23rd of November. There's Orla running. Quintal. Cutting onto the left now. Back onto the right. Still going Sydney FC, Joe Lolly. Adelaide United hanging off. Ryan Grant getting involved. The deflection. Arslan's there again. And it goes out for a goal kick. But Adelaide United are being forced to work incredibly hard in their own final third.
Well, a couple of good little bursts of energy. Firstly, Joe Lolly. And then he's rounded up and invited Ryan Grant to get outside him on the overlap, which he did, and Grant dinking the ball over. Arslan with his second effort on goal.
Well, Garby spoke about that group of fans with the German kids who have got the Arslan 70 jerseys. I get the feeling that the way he started life at Sydney FC tonight, there could be a few more Arslan 70 jerseys flying off the shelves. Garuccio. Stamatolopoulos. Scrambled clear from Alagic. I'll tell you what, Sydney FC might have missed the trick if they charge per letter on the back of the Stamatolopoulos jersey, because he's just got Stammer. Shades of Menagor of Hesselink back in the day when they had to charge £1 per letter. Arslan going deeper and doing the work. Good turn from White. He's worked hard for Adelaide United. They need to get back into this contest here. It's all been Sydney FC the last 10 minutes or so, particularly the last 5 since the introduction. Those two attackers. Here's White. If has been taken out of the game a little in the middle of the park. Okonexler wants the throw. He's insisting that it came off Adelaide United. And Abraham has given it to the visitors. And now Okonexler is going to go in the book. He just remonstrated a little too much. Did the Socceroo. Now it is Adelaide United's turn to head to the bench. Brodie Burkett, who has been so exciting early in his A-League career. Ryan White deserving of a break. He has worked tirelessly. And I just mentioned Munith just starting to fade out a little in the middle of the field. He is being given an early mark by Nandrioli. It's probably smart as well, because the tiring midfield of Adelaide United was having to work so hard with the introduction of Arslan, who's been in full flight. So Luke Duzel will have to work hard. His 52nd A-League game. Plenty of experience for the 24-year-old. Missed a couple with injury. Came off the bench against Newcastle. Working back to full fitness. Tisserand is telling Devonish Mears to get wide, and they've done well there, Sydney FC. It's really calmly done. Led by Tisserand. Himself into a little bit of trouble there, but he does enough to force Phyllis to slam that one into Rosette. Sydney FC take the throw quickly. Arslan just toying with Alagic. And Lolly plays the ball through to nobody. Smits will take all the time in the world here, you get the feeling, because Adelaide United are working so hard to stay in this, and Ufuk Talay can't quite believe what he saw there. we are waiting for goals, Sydney FC, of their 22 scored so far this season, only 5 of them had come in the first half, 17 after half-time. Now this is where they make their money, the Sky Blues. They're also much better in the second half at the other end of the park as well. Of the 25 conceded, 15 were before the break. Stamatolopoulos goes to ground. He wins the free kick as well. But Vreens goes in to Ben Abraham's book. He can't believe it. But Sydney FC get a free kick in a dangerous position.
Just squirted that one clear, did Joe Lolly. Stamatolopoulos doing well to draw the foul from Bart Vreens. Adelaide have rebalanced nicely after that immediate assault. Care of the 2 new subs for Sydney and the readjustment to the formation.
Kisbay leaves it for Garuccio. It's a low ball. It's headed clear by Alagic. Kisbay blocking Johnny Yull from making a play at it, and Garuccio will look to get another one in. In fact, he goes short. Heavy touch from Quintal, but his second attempt is better. He blazes over the bar, but he looked lively from long range as he was looking for a second. And the Women's Asian Cup is only 2 weeks away. Joe Montemuro getting close to naming his Matildas squad. An amazing tournament on home soil, and you can catch every game on Paramount Plus. We remember the wonderful World Cup. Well, this is going to be special as well. The Matildas chasing Asian Cup glory on home soil. Paramount Plus is your place for all the action, as it is here tonight, with both Sydney FC and Adelaide United looking for a winner. And they are leaving it all out on the park tonight. It has been frenetic, attritional as well. Both teams have had to work hard. Jovanovic is saying there's a handball. There he is. Tisserand goes into the book. It's in the middle of the park. But the referee had no hesitation.
Well, he knew he was cooked there. Tisserand. Jovanovic thought he was away. 20 tense minutes plus stoppages.
Adelaide United haven't found themselves here too often in this second half. De Cooley forced a smart save from Harrison Devonish-Mears, who had to be smart a little bit later on as it dangerous bobble through. But it's been largely Sydney FC after half-time. Cooley will leave it. Dinked over the top. And now the first time effort has to be scrambled clear by Alex Grant. Bart Vreens snapped at that one on the volley, and Grant didn't know where that was going.
Well, a nice variation on the free kick from Adelaide. The delivery from set pieces hasn't been terrific from either side in general this afternoon.
Fresh legs of Luke Duzel. Here's Alagic from long range. Low, and Devonish-Mears is at full stretch. He gets a fingertip to it and just puts it wide. Well, that was nestling in the bottom corner, you feel, from Alagic. Johnny Yull, he might have another chance here. The referee gets out of the way. Oh, it's a stinging strike. Devonish-Mears is fortunate to get it at the second attempt, but he's quick to release as well. Sydney FC on the counter.
Well, both teams pounding away. Sometimes the effort is just a little more than is required, just lose that quality in the last touch. But even considering those moments, Both have threatened the opponent's goal. Ethan Allegage doing it twice in quick succession.
Burkett gives away the free kick on Paulo Conexler. And here you go, both teams as you were. If it finishes all square, Adelaide still in 6th spot. Sydney FC 2 points behind Auckland, of course, playing each other on Tuesday night in that catch-up game. Now laying off, and Stamatolopoulos for Arslan, and Arslan had all the time in the world. He tried to dink it over, and it just goes wide. Smits doesn't know what was going on.
Well, Stamatolopoulos does excellently to win the ball, and there's a fingertip in it from Smits. Not convinced the ball wasn't swinging wide anyway. Great chance for Arslan.
I think Arslan may have had too much time to think about that one. The layoff from Stamatolopoulos was excellent. Now, another chance here. Smits comes out and collects eventually for Adelaide United. Some question marks at the back. Nice interplay from Kispe and Quintal. And now Dukuli skipping away from a couple. Still Yaya Dukuli. He has Yull on his left-hand side. He goes himself straight at the goalkeeper. And Devonish Mears again.
What a chance. Oh, my goodness. Devonish Mears outstanding. Maybe talking of too much time for Arslan. Maybe Yaya had too much time.
Well, I think the layoff to Johnny Yull would have had Devonish Mears with his heart in his mouth. Keeper goes out and collects here. It is all happening at Allianz. How is it still 1-1, Andy?
Yeah, well, thanks to Devonish Mears recently. 3 or 4 really good saves.
Stamatolopoulos does well to get in front. Lolly tries to play the ball through. Slams into Allegage, who ends up with it at his feet. Doesn't really have any options there. Both teams appealing for the throw. Kito will take the throw. But it is Sydney FC's ball, and it will be an Adelaide substitution.
Great chance. Yaya, as it turns out, this is his last action of the game. And Alex Grant misses Yaya, gets his own man. It's a great save from Devonish Mears.
Substitution for Adelaide United coming off number 19.
Well, Dukuli did almost everything right, changing direction, going back across the face. As you say, his last involvement, because Ben Falami has been introduced for the final 13 plus stoppages. Sutherland Sharks Jr. Of course, headed overseas as a youngster to Ipswich Town. Back in Sydney tonight. And the visiting team is Falami. Here's Kito. Ball over the top for Johnny Yull. Goes straight towards Tissera. Johnny Yull, and unfortunately for him, doesn't get the contact that he would like.
Oh, it's a back pass. Diego Kispe is very relieved. There's so much opening up for Sydney on halfway. The Sky Blues are contrived again to miscommunicate. And then, just to save their blushes, Johnny Yull passes the ball back to Devonish Mears when so much more was on offer.
Devonish Mears had to make 6 saves last week against Auckland. He's already made 5 tonight. I don't know whether you'd class that one a save. Oh, Greens almost puts that one into the path of Stamatolopoulos. Enough to react to that. Cove is up and about. Just over 10 to go. Kisbay turns. Quintal slips. Falami.
He slipped and grabbed his hamstring, Quintal.
Concerning signs, but Johnny Yull is through, and Ryan Grant has a big decision to make here. Put the shoulder over. Johnny Yull still going. He can't curl it into the back of the net. It'll be a goal kick, and Ryan Grant did just enough to put Johnny Yull off there, keeping it legal. And now we will go over to check on the welfare of Tiago Quintal. But wow, what an intervention defensively by Ryan Grant.
Well, desperate defending from Sydney. This could be a desperate moment for another reason. Well, the Adelaide players are saying that Johnny Yull was pulled back. Tiago Quintal got cramp or something more sinister. He's certainly lost his footing. Devonish Mears hasn't. He's been really excellent, saving that goal. Good game for Tiago Quintal. Lost his footing there. A few players have been losing their footing in this term. Frustrating for them.
The goal scorer. Here is the replay again. It's an awkward one. Just reaching out straight to that hamstring as well. Reece Yuli into the action. Big weekend for him. His 21st yesterday. Will there be celebrations after this one tonight? Arslan loses out. Ball over the top, way too deep from Burkett. Beg your pardon, Alagich. Arslan is quickly closed down. Falami tries to get past Alex Grant. Tisseron's there. Alagich can't bring his header down. Arslan will clear. Smits comes out to sweep. Lolly flying in to put the pressure on. Redlining. Defending from the front was Lolly, and then winning the free kick is Garuccio. The push in the back was a pretty obvious one from Falami. As Ben Garuccio stays down.
Well, it's had frenetic moments, some really good quality moments, some good shots, some poor shots, some great goalkeeping. And now it's all getting a bit ragged.
He's clutching at that left ankle, or the high left ankle there. Let's get down to Daniel Garb right in front of you.
Yeah, and the good news, though, before we take a look at this injury concern for Ben Garuccio, which is another worry for Sydney, is that it is just cramp for Tiago Quintal. I've checked in with the Sydney FC bench, and that is relieving. He's such a talented young player, and the way he was clutching at his hamstring, it looked like it could be a severe tear, but it is just cramp, so he should be all right to recover and be in the mix for Tuesday night's game against Auckland. Akolikon about to come on after a breakdown of play a moment ago. Ufuk turned straight to his bench and said, get Akon on, about 19 times. So desperate for the youngster to have an impact now in this football match.
How good was he in the derby a couple of weeks ago? Of course, taken off at half-time last week to allow Joe Lolly some minutes. And now here's a great chance for Stamatolopoulos, and he looks at the turf as he puts that one high and wide. Frustrated with the surface at Allianz Stadium.
Arslan did excellently. It's a bit of a partnership that's brewed in the opening 15 to 20 minutes of their on-field relationship. Got very close early, and as time has passed, their efforts have gone further away from goal. That's not to be critical, that's in some senses to be expected given their leg weariness, lack of game minutes, new environment. That's been the pattern of the game generally.
I think Stamatolopoulos probably had every right to have a look at the deck there. It did bobble awkwardly for him. It was right on that join of the new surface. If this does finish 1-1. Both sides will be left to rue opportunities. Vrians gets back well with Stamatopoulos bearing down.
But still, as you've articulated, Glenn, it's impossible to believe this is still 1-1.
It has been so end-to-end. Garuccio is looking for options here. Reece Yuli looks to give him one. He's not happy with that. Finds Arslan. Gets it back at his feet, Garuccio. Arslan looking to open up and create some space here for Sydney FC. Tisserand can switch for Ryan Grant. Joe Lolly goes towards the edge of the area. Just over the top of Stamatopoulos. But Arslan was there, and the header again over the bar. Another opportunity gone.
Can't complain with the number of sides at goal they've had since coming on. It's such an open game.
Substitution for Sydney FC.
He's slightly backpedaling, moving away from the goal. Just increases the degree of difficulty. But still, he expected more of himself.
So 85 minutes this evening for Joe Lolly on the comeback trail from the hamstring injury. And the excitement machine, the 16-year-old. Akolakon for the last 5 minutes, plus stoppages. On the right wing for Sydney FC. He gave the Wanderers nightmares 2 weeks ago. Can he do the same to the Reds tonight? Alex Grant wins that unchallenged. Adelaide United get it back momentarily. Tisserand is there for Sydney. Barnett hitting hope more than anything. Garuccio similar as Phyllis goes back all the way to Smits. Good chase from Arslan. Good header from Ryan Grant as well. Here is the fresh leads back on. Alagic up to Burkett. Will the flag stay down here? Tisserand will have to stand up big, and it's very tired from everybody. Can you believe it? Luka Jovanovic has got the goal, but Harrison Devonish-Mears, who has been so good for Sydney FC tonight, can't deal with that one. And Jovanovic had all the time in the world with Tisserand in front. It was nowhere near the cleanest of strikes, but it doesn't matter because it's in the back of the net. And Adelaide United could go on to win this one. They lead 2-1.
Well, beautiful from Brodie Burkett here. Look at that touch and look at this pass. Onside, according to that replay. Beautiful from Burkett. And Jovanovic zeroes in on goal. He takes on Tisserand. Doesn't get much on the shot, really. And it's so disappointing, firstly, for Harrison Mears, who's had a really good game. And what a blemish. What a blotting of the copybook for Devonish-Mears here. Jovanovic skips inside, doesn't get much on it. Little deflection, a bobble, over she goes. Harvey Norman replay, Adelaide 2-1. Incredible for the Reds.
Heartbreak for Harrison Devonish-Mears. Luka Jovanovic can't quite believe it himself. He'll take it. It's his 5th of the season. Ben Falami tried to get a toe in and nick it off him.
A goal that takes Adelaide provisionally to 3rd place. He can barely believe it, Devonish-Mears. He's been so good tonight. And I got to say, in the last few weeks, Glenn, it's like the goalkeepers have been howling at full moons. There's been so many goalkeeping mistakes.
And you've just got to feel sorry for Harrison Devonish-Mears because he's had such a good game. And you're right, on so many occasions over the last few weeks. Garuccio, can Sydney FC find a way back in this one? They held the lead for 3 minutes in the first half. Can we get a quick reply? Garuccio. Kisbay. It's all the way back to O'Connor. Time running out for Ufuk Tale's side. Akola Khan. Adelaide United have had to do so much defending in this second half. But it's the way it goes sometimes. Alagic releasing Jovanovic again. Can he get another one? Akon comes across to try to defend. Burkett's waiting as well. And Reece Yuli does well to win it back for Sydney FC. Jovanovic is hanging. He's had to get into the reserves there. The energy reserves for those last two runs. Falami keeps it in play. He's brought down by Garuccio. A frustrated-looking figure is Ben Garuccio.
That could have finished it for Adelaide. But he ran out of space and has run out of steam, Luka Jovanovic. Two subs about to make way, or make their way on the field. Jovanovic will be one.
Double substitution for Adelaide United. Coming off number 9.
Johnny Yell will be the other.
It's a killer. It's a killer for Harrison Devonish-Mears after the game he's had, but there's no hiding from that.
Well, the surface may get brought into it, but regardless, it's a horrible sight for the goalkeeper as Jovanovic slowly makes his way off. Joey Garuccio enters the fray. Ben's cousin. It's going to be on the other side of the park, it looks like. And Mani Tatu coming on for just his 5th appearance of the season. Gets one into the 6-yard box, looking to test Devonish-Mears early. More Adelaide juniors as well. Tatu coming through the Croydon Kings. Joey Garuccio, product of the Cumberland side. It's a real production chain in South Australia at the moment. Here's another alumni, Ben Garuccio. Alex Grant. A minute and a half into the 5, added on. Now Ryan Grant dinking one over the top, trying to find Stamatolopoulos. Hooked clear by Alagic. And again, Ethan Alagic has some space now. 3-on-2, if he can find either left or right. Brodie Burkett's there. Good interception by Reece Yuli. Working so hard to get back for Sydney FC. And then now Burkett gives away the free kick on Akon. Taken quickly by Ryan Grant. Stamatolopoulos and Vriens. Strong by Bart Vriens. He gives away the throw, but yeah, it needed to be.
Needed to be. He came up short for his team last week against Newcastle. He was certainly in the discussion for a bad back pass in the lead up to Sydney's goal tonight, but he's been strong since. Really strong, and he needed to be then against Stamatolopoulos.
Throw from Grant, flicked on by Akon. Cleared by Falami. Less than 2.5 minutes for Sydney FC to find an equaliser. Less than 2.5 minutes for Adelaide United to move to 3rd place on the ladder. Sydney back in action in just 72 hours. Josh Schmidt's leading the Paramount Plus player index ahead of the goal scorers, Ryan Kitto and Tiago Quintal. You get the feeling that Harrison Devonish-Mears would have been up there as well before Adelaide's second goal. And a tired Sydney FC give away a throw. Time really running out. The Adelaide United fans in the background with the whistle. Daring to get the 3 points in the hand luggage back to the City of Churches.
Where you are is good. Let's go.
Would be back-to-back wins over Sydney FC for Adelaide United. After that victory in round 1 at home. And just confirmation of that ladder. Adelaide United up to 3rd as it stands. Less than a minute for Sydney FC to change that. And they've got to go coast to coast. Adelaide United have now scored 7 goals in the final 15 minutes of matches this season. Second only to Newcastle. How crucial could that be in the run towards the Isuzu UTE A-League Men's Final Series? Away they go again. Joey Garuccio. As Reece Yuli in front of him. Stands up. Stays strong. Good battle between Yuli and Joey Garuccio. The 19 and 21-year-olds, the future is bright. We are just about at the discretion of Ben Abrahams. Sydney FC, one final fling, but it's intercepted by Phyllis. Will they have an opportunity here? Tisserand is going to have to get this one into the mixer. Gets it forward, but only as far as Jay Barnett. He'll put this one anywhere. Would have liked it to stay in, but I don't think there'll be time for Sydney FC to get up the other end. Tisserand goes back to Devonish Mears. On we go. Long ball for Devonish Mears. It skips along the turf and into the grateful arms of Josh Mitz, with Arslan bearing down. A frustrated Sydney FC bench looks on, and Ben Abrahams blows full time. A sigh of relief from Ayrton Andrioli as Smits punches the ball away in delight. Joe Lolly with his head in his hands. Sydney FC with the one that got away. Quintal took the lead for Sydney FC 14 minutes in. But a goal 3 minutes later to Ryan Kitto. And then, unfortunately, after such a good game, Harrison Devonish Mears couldn't deal with Luka Jovanovic, who scored his 5th of the campaign and helped Adelaide United to their first victory in 3 matches. Akola Khan only getting 5 minutes at the end. He couldn't change the story. And Ayrton Andrioli celebrating with his team. It is a big victory that sees Adelaide United move up to 3rd place on the ladder in this so tight Isuzu UTE A-League Men's competition. It has finished. Sydney FC 1, Adelaide United 2. Let's get straight down to Daniel Garb for some immediate reaction.
Thank you. I'm here with Luka Jovanovic, the match winner for Adelaide. Mate, congratulations. How big is that win? It was such a tight game. It's such a tight season. How big are those 3 points?
Yeah, you know, 3 points means a lot, especially with how tight the table is. And, you know, some of our results have been inconsistent. You know, we've been playing well every week, but, you know, to keep on winning is important. And, you know, to start off tonight with a win, I think it's our first win in 3 weeks. So